Hey folks, welcome to week 4. Things seem to be going pretty well so far for the term, so thank you for all the participation and really active and good participation going on in the discussion post. Seeing a lot of good work going on there, and always happy to open that up during the week and see new ideas coming from students. Like, I pick up a lot of stuff from the students that I hadn't thought about before. We all bring our own biases and prejudices and just our background and our attitudes to the material every week. So it's always good to see new ideas, and especially when you substantiate those new ideas either through something you found in the readings or something relevant that you found in other sources. So I want to say thanks right up front for that. Week 4, we get into religion and reform, and religion and reform can be touchy topics for folks at times. I get that. Again, we all bring those things to the table, and a lot of us have really strong opinions about religion and how that affects daily life, how it affects society. And I would just caution you to think about it from a historical perspective when you're thinking about this stuff. There's this thing that a lot of historians are talking about right now called presentism. And if you Google it, you'll find things from the historical societies out there. The president of the American Historical Society actually kicked up a pretty good dust storm over it a few months ago. And it's a term that really refers to taking today's attitudes, today's morals, today's thoughts, and applying them to earlier periods in time. And that gets really tricky. It's hard to expect people to think thoughts 200 years ago that we've just now gotten to thinking, or that are now currently what we're thinking. So as you're going through this period of time, really try to keep that in mind, and examine the materials for what they are and where they came from. And I think that will help balance it out a little bit for you and may give you some new insights. At least really put that attempt in there. And again, it's something we all do, and it's something that's really difficult to get out of the habit of. Also, don't be too sensitive around this topic if someone's opinion around religion reform really flies in the face of yours. Keep it professional in the discussion post and your thoughts. Again, I know that can be touchy at times, but let's go for that, okay? There's a couple of questions that have come up this term around the grading and the rubric and how I look at that. You've got a topic proposal this week, so this is a really good time to talk about that. There's kind of 4 areas. Articulation response is always there at the last, so 3 primary areas. The way the program is set up at SNHU, if you just go down that proficient column when you're writing, you will get either a high A, or a high B, or a low A on that assignment. And that tracks pretty much across the term. And if you're just getting a lot of proficiency, you're probably in pretty good shape for the term. The shift from proficient to exemplary is where a lot of students get hung up. I put a lot of work into it. I put 14 hours into my bibliography, and why in that exemplary? I think at this point that question might not need to be answered, but to go from proficient, let's take like the historical lens, the first category on the rubric for your topic proposal. Proficient says that you've identified the lenses you're going to use. To move to exemplary there, you would need to not only identify those lenses, but back up how you're going to use them and give an example or two. And they don't have to be lengthy examples. You don't have to write an entire page on it. Just a paragraph or two to go, I'm going to use the social lens to examine this material in my historiographical essay. For the social lens, I have found author A who has said this, or author B who has said that, and this is how I'm going to apply that. You're going to need a thesis statement here, and I know the thesis isn't called out on the rubric as a gradable item, but it's really hard to lay out a topic and talk about the lenses you're going to use, what the historiography looks like, and what questions you're going to be asking, okay, without a thesis statement. You really have to ground yourself there. There are going to be announcements coming this week about the difference between research paper and historiography. I know that sounds simple to a lot of you, but there are people that struggle with that in every term. So read those announcements really closely. If you've got questions, reach out to me. We'll set something up, either by email or video chat, and help solve those issues for you as best we can, okay? But I really want you to stop and focus on that. Those questions, don't ask, what day did George Washington do something? Don't ask, how many Indians did the Indian Removal Act under Jackson move? Ask questions about what the historians were thinking when they wrote about it. Remember, a historiographical essay is not about what happened, it's about what the historians have said about what happened. All right, so I hope that helps clear things up. Remember, annotated bibliography this week. If your name is posted in the discussion threads, then congratulations, you get to do yours this week. If not, you don't have to. Awesome. Got questions about the book review? Give me a heads up and let me know. We'll talk more about that next week. Thanks for your time, and see you in the funny papers.